it's Kai and welcome to Beauty. I have another first impression review video for you today, and this time it is from Chanel. I have never had a Chanel beauty product before in my life, let alone clothing, perfume, anything like that. I think these will be the first Chanel products that I've ever bought. I have actually used one of these products before, but I actually had to return it because the lady matched me up with a shade and she convinced me that 30 beige was going to be the right shade for me. Look at me, do I look remotely beige? I'm like glowing fluorescent white. So I went back, and luckily in my House of Fraser near me, they were really understanding and said, you know, this is an obvious mistake. They looked at me and was like, no way are you 30 beige, and they changed it for me to 20. So I'm going to show you the two products that I purchased. It is a primer and a foundation. So the primer is the Chanel Le Blanc primer, and it's a sheer illuminating base. The lady told me it's the actual only primer that they stock at Chanel. It's the only one they make. And it's basically one that's for all skin tones. It gives a little bit of illumination, but sort of works with all combinations of skin as well. So dry, oily combination, that sort of thing. So it is a very good primer, so sort of all round things, you know, it's not really a specific thing that it aims at. And I really like the packaging. It's black and gold. It's got the Chanel wording there, and then it's got the Chanel logo on the back and all that good stuff. I think it's nice and sleek and sort of fabulous looking. The actual bottle itself is a frosted glass bottle. It's completely glass with a sort of black shiny plastic lid. It's got the Chanel logo on the top, and this doesn't actually have a pump, this primer. It's simply just the pot itself, but you do get a nice little white Chanel branded stick that you can sort of put in and then put it onto your face and clean as you want. I actually really like this. I prefer this sort of system than a pump for a primer, because sometimes you might want a bit more, sometimes you might want a bit less, and I think if you have a pump you can waste quite a lot. So I think this is actually really nice. I absolutely love this packaging. It feels like super sturdy, but it's actually not heavy at all, and I think it's quite small and light. I like it. And the foundation that I'm going to be showing you today is the Chanel Perfection Lumiere Long Wear Flawless Fluid Makeup, and this has been recommended especially for people with oily skin. It's meant to have quite a velvety sort of texture, and if you have like oily combination skin, it's meant to be super long wearing, but if you have dry skin, it feels like really lightweight and it's not cakey and it's not going to get patches everywhere as well. So it's a good, again, all-round sort of foundation. This is in the colour 20 beige. I have no idea why they like using the word beige. I don't think like it's really good for like an all-round like 20 beige, 30 beige. I don't know, it doesn't seem right. But anyway, they have a very limited amount of shades in England. I think there's only like 5 or 6, whereas I think America have like a bigger variety in the shades that you can get. So if you are from America, I'm sure there'll be plenty more, but for me 20 beige is about right. And again, the foundation is in a frosted glass bottle with the shiny black lid and the Chanel logo on the top. This one, however, does have a pump, which is what you'd pretty much expect from a foundation these days. I really love this frosted glass bottle, and again, it's not heavy, but I think it's nice and compact as well. You know, this can fit in, you know, in the little gaps in your makeup bag quite easily, and I just think it looks nice. And the foundation has SPF 10, which I think is just good to have that nice little bit of sun protection. Even in the winter, you can get glare from the sun, so it's nice just to have that there. And SPF 10 is quite light. It's not going to reflect too much with flashback on cameras, but it's just nice to have, especially as I keep saying, I'm going to New York, so I really wanted this foundation to sort of long wear but have a nice lightweight feel to it. And this is this big seller for this, is the lady said to me that it lasts a long time but it feels like you've got no foundation on. So I'm going to give this all a go now and just show you how I apply this. I'm going to be using, as I tend to always use at the moment, my Sigma Flat Kabuki F80 brush, but the primer I'm just going to apply with my hands. As you can see, I've got a lot of spots that have like erupted. This one here is literally like a mini volcano. It's got like a hole in it, it's like a mound and everything. And this side of my face seems to be okay. I've got my usual like little red dots, and this side, again, it's just my chin. I've like broken out recently. I think it's because suddenly I like went to London and I had like wine and, you know, carbs and sugar and all that stuff. My skin's just gone like, oh my god, you were so good to me for so long, what are you doing? And I think like the London air and everything, so God knows what my skin's gonna be like when I get back from New York, because I've heard that it's quite like grimy, the air, and like pollutionated, so who knows. But I'm going to start with the primer, and we're just going to take the round part of this little, I don't know what this is called, like little spatula thing, and we're literally just going to take the littlest bit on here, you probably can't even see that, and just take it on the back of my hand. So we've got about that much product. It's really, really runny, and it's so white, and it sort of smells like suntan lotion, but like yogurt and suntan lotion. That's what it smells like. Like, I want to eat it, but it also smells like suntan lotion. I don't know, you know, like kids suntan lotion, like the Sombre, what is it? Sombre LA, I don't know. But it's like the kids stuff that smells good. Yeah, that's what it smells like. So it's quite runny, but also like quite a thick, like milky consistency as well. And I'm just going to sort of spread this evenly all over my face. And I'm just going to rub this in. And kind of like suntan lotion, it is quite scary. Like, it goes quite white. If you put too much on, it will look like you have like white foundation all over your face. So this is really nice though. It really sort of smooths out and like makes your skin feel nice and soft, but also I feel like it like really helps with pores as well. Even though it's one of those sort of primers that's meant to be for all sort of things, and it's meant to be slightly illuminating, it's not as illuminating as say like the MAC strobe cream. So I think it's just nice to have a little bit of glow, but with someone with oily skin, you don't want too much. So I think this is definitely my new favourite primer. I really, really like this. I just think it smells good. I don't know. I like it when stuff smells stuff. Sometimes people don't like foundation and primers that smell loads, but I do because I'm weird like that. And if it smells nice, I'm like, oh, it's so attractive. I'm like attracted to smells. There we go. That is the primer sort of all blended in on my face. It doesn't really do anything for redness or anything like that. You know, it hasn't sort of blended in my face. It's just sort of like to even out the coverage, make your foundation go on better, and add a little bit of illumination. I feel like it does make my skin a lot brighter, like almost instantly. It sort of adds like a nice little glow and sort of just makes it brighter and me more awake, which is something I definitely want from a primer. So I think now my skin is quite like broken out, this is a really good time to show you exactly what I think of a foundation, because if it's meant to be sort of long wear and medium to full coverage, you'll really be able to tell how much it sort of covers up. So I'm going to take the foundation on my heart plate and just do, I think, I'm going to start with about 3 pumps. The pumps are pretty small, as you can see that's 3, and there's like not all too much going on in there, but I don't want to put too much and waste it. It's quite pricey. I think it's about £36 for the foundation, which is, you know, pretty up there in cost of foundation. And as I said, I'm going to take my flat kabuki brush and just dab that into the foundation to get like an even amount sort of over the bristles, and then just blend this all over. And I'm going to start on one side of my face and sort of blend this all out. So there we go, that is sort of one thin layer of the foundation. 3 pumps is very, very small. I definitely have to say that you need to probably do a lot more than you're used to. It might seem quite extreme doing like 5 or 6 pumps of this, but it's very buildable. I can already tell that it's sort of doesn't quite set straight away. I feel like I've got a little bit more time to work with this than say the MAC Pro Longwear, but it looks very natural. I can already see it just looks like my skin, and with the primer underneath you can see a nice sort of illuminated glow. And because it's sort of a 20 beige, I feel like this adds just a little bit more warmth to my skin tone than say the NW13 that I was using before. So I definitely think this is a little bit warmer, but for summer it's something that definitely is good. It doesn't feel like I've got anything on my face. I feel like I've just got the primer as like a moisturizer and nothing else. It really honestly is so lightweight. I'm really impressed with this. So I'm just going to try and build this up and see if we can get some more coverage. It's already covered a lot of the redness and the spots, and I would obviously put concealer over these anyway, but I'm just going to add a little bit more to see if we can bring it up to a more medium to full coverage. So there we go. I added another layer on this side of my face, and you can see that it just builds up so nicely. It still looks like skin. It doesn't feel like I've got a whole bunch of foundation on, and it doesn't look like it either. I'm so impressed with this. I think it just has such a nice sort of velvety finish, and if you feel your face, it feels so soft, and and sort of if you run it between your fingers, it almost gets like an almost powdery sort of finish, which I really like. I can tell that this is going to sort of soak up a lot of oil throughout the day, and hopefully it will be as long wearing as it says. This honestly doesn't look or feel cakey at all. I'm just going to zoom you in so you can really see close up on my skin how good the finish is, but I'm pretty sure even now you can see it does just look like skin and it's adding some warmth. So here we are, just a little bit more zoomed in so you can really see the skin tone. It's really covered up the redness and the spots on my chin, but it doesn't feel cakey on those at all, and it doesn't feel like irritating to be on the spots. I know sometimes when you're wearing foundation it feels like they're just sort of sat on top and you can still sort of see it, but I feel like this is covering really, really well considering how bad those spots were. And again, like under my eyes, it seems like really sort of nice and fresh, and I really love the primer and foundation combination, that just little bit of illumination, but it's definitely not as sort of shiny as other foundation and primer combos that I've used before. I love this finish. I'm just going to continue to apply my sort of concealer and powder and blush and bronzer to really show you what it would look like finished. So there we go, that is sort of everything to do with my face sort of finish. I absolutely love this. I feel like this actually works really well with the MAC powder because it already has sort of like a nice powdery finish, but looks so natural, it's so lightweight, it doesn't get cakey at all. I am obsessed with this foundation. I feel like this is going to be my new like holy grail foundation. I just think it looks so nice and natural, and just with like a little bit of a contour and blush and mascara, I feel like this could be such a nice sort of naturalish look, and it doesn't look like I'm wearing too much foundation or anything like that. And I'm just going to do my lips and then show you the finished look. So there we go, that is how I would do sort of a very basic natural makeup look with this new foundation. If you have oily combination skin like I do, I highly recommend it. I wore it actually on the Guardians of the Galaxy premiere, which is why I was like first impressions, because it sort of is my first impressions, but I have used it before sort of thing, and it lasted all night. When I got back to the hotel it was still like flawlessly on. I was so shocked, and it was a very hot day in London, and even now normally by the end of filming a video I'm shiny and it looks like really greasy and everything, and this is holding all of my skin oils at bay, and I absolutely love this. If you have any suggestions, critiques or feedback, please leave it in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed this video please leave a thumb up, and if you have any requests let me know and I'll be sure to try and get on with those. I really hope you're enjoying this 3 videos a week schedule, and I'll see you next time. Bye!